Hello, everyone. I'm going to give some folks some time to jump on, hopefully. Today is Father's Day. I haven't had a chance to talk to my daddy yet today, but I'm playing this song for a couple different reasons. One is because it's one of my daddy's favorite songs and he plays it a lot, so whenever I hear it, it reminds me of him. And then secondly, it's Father's Day, and so there are a lot of people who are missing their dads today because they've passed on. And if you're one of those people, I want you to know that you're not alone, that I'm here, that I hear, that I know that it's a challenge. So we are going to get started. I'm going to turn this off. So welcome to my weekly Facebook Live. I'm so excited. Thank you for being here. This is called How Loss Affects Us. And this is really something that is for all of us because loss affects all of us. At some point, we are going to lose the people that we love. At some point, someone that you love is going to be really affected by the loss of someone else. And one of the things that I personally noticed in my world was that I felt very alone and I wanted people to support me in a certain way and they didn't know how. And so that's what I do here is we talk about loss and the things that affect us because like I said, it affects us all. Loss affects us all, particularly now with the state of the world, with everything that's going on with COVID. We're grieving the people that we've lost. We're worried and anxious about, our own health and safety and the health and safety of the people that we love. So it's a big deal. So I'm going to do two things today on this call. The first is I am going to do a personal share with my relationship with anxiety. And I'm going to explain to you what I did to make it go away because I didn't think that it was something that I could ever make really tamper down. I just didn't think that it was possible. And when you're grieving somebody that you love, a lot of times there's a lot of anxiety. So I'm also going to invite you today into what I'm doing. It's a wellness challenge. It's a 30-day emotional reset. So I am joining Jack Canfield for this. It starts July 1st. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to invite you to participate. If it's something that you're interested in, then I'm going to ask you to reach out to me. So that's what's happening today. So first we're going to talk about anxiety. And as I was doing research for this talk, I went to look what are the anxiety statistics, and I found the ADAA, which I didn't know existed, is the Anxiety and Depression Association of America. And what they do is they report statistics on anxiety, and what they've shown is that 40 million adults in the United States have some form of anxiety or have had it at some point in their life. To put that in perspective, it's basically the entire state of California is 40 million people. So anxiety is very, very pervasive. And many of us, and I don't know if this is you, but many of us experience anxiety, but we push it away and we ignore it. So, and how I know that is because 37% of those 40 million people receive treatment. 60% don't, which means 60% of us are in denial that we have anxiety or that we have anxiety that we feel like should be treated. So it's a big deal. So again, if you're experiencing anxiety, if you know the path of anxiety, comment below and say yes, because there's so many of us. Like, you are not alone. 40 million people have anxiety, right? So it's very pervasive. So that's why I think that this is an important conversation to have. And I'm going to do some personal sharing from my life. So for as long as I can remember, and again, I'm only learning some of this now, but I've had what's called GAD, or general anxiety disorder. And I was trying to think back to when it started, but it started getting really bad, like close to middle school. And I've been experiencing it ever since. And I also found another interesting fact was that anxiety affects women twice as much as men, which is also interesting to me. So, but a lot of times I didn't know that I had general anxiety disorder, generalized, because it was my way of life. It was all I knew. I didn't know what it felt like not to have intense anxiety. And when you feel that way and you have so much anxiety, there's no way to know what it would be like not to have it. And so I fell into that category and I brushed it off, and I basically said, well, I'm just a perfectionist, or, I want to be an overachiever. It's just my internal drive. It's not anxiety. And I spent a long time being really hard on myself. And I've also, I believe, and I guess it has been diagnosed, but OCD typically goes closely, oftentimes, with anxiety. And so I have some OCD characteristics. And if you know me well, and the people who are watching this, I know they're snickering. Yes, I have some OCD, and that can be good and it can be bad. My house is very clean. My house is very organized. That's important to me. So, but that's one of the reasons why I wanted to invite you you're in my kitchen, you're in my living room. I wanted you to see my world a little bit. So let's go a little bit deeper. So I had my first real panic attack in 1997. If you've had a panic attack, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't had a panic attack, I want to explain it to you. So having a panic attack is like feeling like you're okay in one moment, and then in the next moment, suddenly feeling like you're gonna die. So your heart starts to race, my hands would start to sweat, my fingers would start to get numb. And the panic was just so overwhelming that I was literally about to call 911. But at that time, I called my brother, and I called him and I said, Brian, something's happening. You have to get here now. And he heard the panic in my voice. And he didn't ask me why. He didn't ask me what was going on. He didn't try to talk me through it. He said, okay, I'll be there. And he lived about 10 or 15 minutes from me at the time. And so he hopped on his motorcycle and he drove to my house. Like, he was so worried, just to give you a sense of this, he was so worried that he drove his motorcycle onto my front porch and got off and like came running in and was like, what the deal is going on? So I didn't know, but that was my first panic attack. When he got there, I started to calm down because, he was the person that I always went to. My brother Brian was my guy, right? And if I needed anything back then, he was the one that I went to. So I immediately felt safe when he was there. And then my panic attack kind of subsided. And at the time I had just started my career. So this was after college. I had bought a home. I had started going back to school to get my MBA. I mean, I was doing a lot. I was definitely in my overachievement phase. And I was working every day, but I was scared to death of the work that I was doing because I had entered sales. And sales is very scary when you're an introvert. And most people who know me say, oh no, you're an extrovert. I'm not an extrovert. I'm an introvert who's learned how to become extroverted. So, and the way I define it, if you're wondering, is introverts are people who, when you're with people, you actually need to then leave and recharge yourself. If you're an extrovert, going out and being with more people it gives you more energy. So that's the difference, so you can tell. Let me know below if you're an introvert or if you're an extrovert, because I want to hear about that. So I was really just, I was scared to death every day in my job. I was waiting till Friday. And so Friday would be great because I'd be like, oh, okay, now I have the whole weekend. Saturday would be fantastic. I could do whatever I wanted. There was no pressure. And then as Sunday came, as it got later and later in the day, my anxiety level went up. And I got to the point where I had anxiety every Monday morning. And I had a full-on panic attack every Monday morning. And I knew what it was, but I didn't know what to do about it. So I knew that that's what was happening. So I didn't feel like I had to call 911 anymore. I didn't feel like I was going to die because I knew. I did the research and I said, okay, this is what's going on. And I would just, again, like on Sundays, I just like pace my house and I would like pray that Monday morning would not come. But this was my livelihood and it's what I said I wanted to do. And so, I really pushed myself through my anxiety. And I think that anyone who experiences anxiety knows exactly what I'm talking about, because you feel the anxiety and you try to push your way through it. And you try to keep going, and eventually it becomes overwhelming, and then you need to lay down on the couch or get in bed for a couple days and wait for it to subside. And then you wonder, like, why are you so exhausted? Well, this type of emotional wrangling, whatever you want to call it, like it wears you out. It takes an emotional toll on you and it drains your energy. And so I remember, for as long as I can remember, anybody who knows me, I said like, I don't know. I'm exhausted all the time. And this is as recent as a month ago, saying like, oh, I'm so exhausted. And I went and I did the sleep study and I was trying to figure out all this stuff to figure out why I feel so exhausted. Well, it turns out it was my anxiety. And it was uncontrolled and I was trying to control it in ways that aren't healthy. I've gotten off on a big tangent, but the point of it is, hey Deb, hi Kathy, hey Jasmine. The point of it is that I had anxiety for a long time and I pushed through my anxiety and my anxiety wore me out. And that's, again, for as long as I can remember. And then, after my first miscarriage, that certainly didn't help my anxiety. My first miscarriage, I was 39. I was desperate to have a child and I had miscarried. And then I lost my second son. So he was born premature, and I lost him. And so more anxiety came. And at this point, now I'm 40 and I wanted to have a baby. And then I went through infertility treatments, right? Because I couldn't get pregnant. And so that's stressful. And I had a lot of anxiety. So the whole time that I'm going through all this, they're like, well, you just need to relax. You just need to calm down. And it's like, are you kidding me? So I wish I knew then what I know now. But here's what happened is I have a very good friend. Her name is Trina Sett. And she is amazing, and she's the one who introduced me to Jack Canfield. Now, I knew who he was, but I really hadn't followed his work. So if you don't know who Jack Canfield is, he's the guy that was co-author of all the Chicken Soup for the Soul books, right? So 500 million of these books have been sold. There were 250 of the books in the series. He was also in The Secret. That's a movie that if you haven't seen The Secret, that's a good one to watch too. It's on Netflix. So she started introducing me to him, and she said, hey, he joined this organization and he's using oils in his emotional reset courses, right? So part of what he does, he's a transformational coach. He's a speaker. He, is just phenomenal. So if you don't know who Jack Canfield is, please go look him up. One thing I did want to share with you is something that I did, is he has online, it's a 10-day transformation. So it's Jack Canfield. So if you Google Jack Canfield 10-day transformation, you can go there. All you give him is your email address, and he sends you an email with a video every day for 10 days. It's like a 4-minute video. You watch the video and you do what he says, do the homework. And for me, you know, everybody gets different things out of these depending on what's going on in your life. For me, it was day 3. And in day 3, he talked about excuses. And he talked about all the things that we blame or criticize or complain about that are all the things that stop us from doing what we really want to do and from having what we want to have. So what I uncovered during that is that I was making excuses, that I felt as if I wasn't smart enough. I'd be like, oh, I'm not smart enough to do that. Or, you know, nobody likes me. No one's going to follow me. And it was basically an excuse to stay small. And it was an excuse to not try because I didn't want to fail. And so I just didn't try anything. But prior to this, Trina had come to me and said, look, I've been working with Jack Canfield. He's like a father to me. He's amazing. He's doing this thing. You absolutely have to do it. And because it was her and because I knew her, I said, absolutely, sign me up. I want to do this. And what it was Young Living and the Young Living oils. And Young Living is a multi-level marketing business. And a lot of people have a lot of opinions about multi-level marketing. And I could talk for a long time about that, but that isn't about this. What it's about is that the oils improved my health and wellness. So when you join, you get a starter kit. It's got about 12 to 15 oils in it. It gives you a diffuser. And so I'm like, hey, this is cool. I love how they smell, right? So I'm like, I've always envisioned and wanted to have, you know, my home smell like a spa. You know, when you go into a spa, and you like walk around and there's like the soft music playing and there's some sense of eucalyptus and maybe peppermint and some citrus. And you just like breathe that in and you're like, okay, that's what oils are. That's what they do. And there's oils to pick you up. There's oils to relax you and calm you. So anyways, I started using them and I love them. I had no idea the magnitude, thank you, Deb. I had no idea the magnitude of what was happening because this was literally a month ago, right? So I'm in my 2nd month with the organization. But using those oils, and you use them either in the diffuser or topically, you know, you can rub them on your skin. I just use the ones that I seem to like more. And over the course of that month, my anxiety melted away. And I have been in personal development and trying to fix all the things that are wrong with me, trying to get better, trying to figure out how to make my anxiety go away, or even just manage my anxiety. But on my birthday this year, and it was just a few days ago, I was able to have my oils. They were diffusing. My house smelled like eucalyptus, smelled like lavender, smelled like peppermint. It was amazing. I had my spa music on. I did my yoga, and I could not believe how amazing I felt. My anxiety was virtually gone. And what's crazy is before that, like I said before, I didn't know that my anxiety was so bad. I mean, I had glimpses of it, and, you know, there's a divorce in there, and that does, you know, wreaks havoc on everything. And if you're going through a divorce or you've been through a divorce, you know what I'm talking about. But I couldn't believe it. And so that's why I wanted to talk about it today, because I don't know the science of it yet. So I am a scientist. And so at the beginning of this, I was like, these are oils, big deal. It smells good. They don't do anything. You know, they talk about it being a health and wellness company. And I'm like, well, you know, how are they wellness? Other than just like relaxing you when you're stressed. But let me tell you, I just cannot speak enough about how much these have helped me. And I wish I had had them early on in my grief. So I am going to figure out how to continue to promote these, continue to encourage those who are going through grief, those of the, you know, if you're one of the 40 million people in the US who are experiencing anxiety, I'm going to encourage you to think about it and give it a try. And what have you got to lose? So that brings us to the emotional reset challenge that I wanted to talk about. So Jack Canfield has put together an emotional reset challenge. So the reset challenge is basically a month-long process that uses oils in conjunction with, it's all virtual, so it's using Zoom calls. There'll be 21 Zoom calls, I believe, over the course of the 30 days with Jack Canfield personally. So you'll get to be on a Zoom call with him, and he's going to walk you through how to use the oils, specific oils, to move you past anything that's stopping you. So if you have things that you've always wanted to try, but you haven't done, and you can't figure out, well, I don't know why I don't do that. I keep saying I want to do that, but I haven't done that, right? For me personally, mine is my weight. My weight is a big thing for me, and I want it to come down. And I feel like there are so many blocks that prevent me from losing weight. And so I'm going to dive into those. And that's what I'm going to use this 30-day reset. And I'm scared to death even telling you guys this. But I am going to go all in for this and see what happens, right? To see what's emotionally stopping me. So this is the feelings kit. The course is free. The time with Jack Canfield is free, which is amazing because the guy's pays like, you know, people spend like $25,000 a day just to hang out with the guy. This feelings kit is the only thing that you have to get to participate in the course. It comes with 6 oils in it. They're amazing. They look like this. This one's called Inner Child. We all have some inner child work to do. There's forgiveness. There's valor that helps you with bravery. They all work. They smell amazing. But all you need is those oils, and then you can get started. And you can walk with me on this emotional reset. And if you want to do that, what I want to encourage you to do is, you know, this is an invitation. I want to invite you to reach out to me and ask me to do it. This is not, you know, again, we call ourselves the anti-MLM with Young Living because this is because I found something that works for me and I want to share it with you because the reason why I do all of this is because I want to help other people and I want to help you. If you're watching this, I want to help you and the people that you love. So if you know somebody who you think could potentially use this or who might be interested, share this video with them, tell them to reach out to me, and I'll give you all the details. But again, it starts July 1st. So if you do want to do it, it's best to get started right away because things will need to ship to you. If you're wondering about the cost, so the Feelings kit with the oils is $181. There's some other oils that you can choose to buy if you want to as part of it. They're another $303. It's not a lot of money to make dramatic changes in your life. And that's what I really feel like is going to happen here. So I'm super excited about it. After the challenge, so that would be, you know, at the end of, so this would be in August. I will come back again. I will give you all the results that happened for me. I'll ask you to share with me what happened for you if you participated in the challenge. So I am just super over the moon excited. Can't wait to see what's going to happen. And, you know, in this time, we all need something to focus on that's outside of the scary, the fear, the riots, the, you know, everything that's going on in the world. Like, we need something else to focus on. And so this is an opportunity to shift your focus onto something that you actually can control. Because there's so much in this world right now that we cannot control. What you can control is your enrollment in this course, your commitment to yourself to want to get past what stops you and to allow you to have what you want to have in the world. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to do the things that bring you joy. You deserve the things that make you smile. Like, that's what Grief Inspired is about. That's why I do everything I do. That grief is hard. Life is hard. And you can look at it one of two ways. You can look at it as something that's happening to you, or it's something that you can take control of, and you can say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this for me. I'm going to do this because I matter. You matter. So that's my pitch. That's my soapbox. Again, thank you for listening to my story today. If you're feeling anxiety, I am so with you. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to have it. I know what it's like not to have it. I know what it's like to medicate through it. So anyways, I just want you to know that you're not alone, and no one should have to grieve alone. No one should have to feel like they're alone in this world. That's why I'm here. That's why I do all of these things, because I want you to know that I do, from my heart, personally care, and I want to make a difference in your world. So if I have, please let me know. Comment below. If there's other topics you'd like me to discuss, I always love hearing about those, so let me know those as well. Thanks so much, everybody. That was How Loss Affects Us. That was week 3, and we'll see you next week, hopefully, again at 10 a.m. Pacific on Sunday. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.